You just want to start with what's going on, the basics?
We've been struggling with financial issues for a number of years. And it's, I don't think we've made any secret of it in the community, and particularly with our staff. In the 20 of the last 22 years, we had expenses greater than our revenues. We had a substantial rainy day fund because we hadn't paid out any dividends since '92, and saved everything up for the press we bought and to cover any eventualities down the road. Not expecting it to be this, but and we, with the press, saved a lot of money, but that wasn't enough to help because that cut costs. The downward trend on revenue and circulations continued, and frankly, it's the same thing that's happened all over the country. We track our numbers versus the others in the industry and even in the area, and we've all been dropping at similar rates. Some papers more, some less, but generally similar rates. But where we started out was a lower level, so we started out in an area where when the internet really started hitting newspapers, that happened to be a time period when we were in the red, and so we've been kind of caught and could never get caught up, whereas if we'd started out of the black. So in December of, it's longer than you wanted, sorry. December of 17, we sought out a broker and began a process of trying to find a buyer. Went out to market, so to speak, in spring of 2018. Had several people take a look and examine the property. Only ended up with 2 people that showed any real interest. One of them left for internal reasons. They had a bunch of papers came on the market in 2018, and a paper they were always interested in, quite large paper, came on the market, so they pulled out. And another group, the other group rather, pulled out for internal reasons as well, different internal reasons. But so we never got to the point where we had final discussions on anything. So left with no buyers, we started looking at very draconian measures to try and turn things around and save it. We looked at eliminating 3 print days a week, and we looked at subcontracting out several departments and other means of trying to control expenses. And all along we've been trying to find ways to increase revenues, but that has had limited success. So we were left at the point where there's no choice, but the only alternative left was closing. So we announced today to our staff, and in fact we have some staff members tonight we're going to still talk to at 7:30 and 8 o'clock because of the staggered shifts, and explain to them what's going on.
What are the details of the closing? How will you phase out?
We have, yeah, thank you, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We're issuing today a 60-day warn letter, and actually it's going to be like 64 days, I think, but our last day of publication will be Saturday, August 31st. We'll have a handful of people after that to wrap some other stuff up, but that'll be the last print publication.
Will you shut down the website on that day as well?
Yes.
How many total employees will lose their job in this?
Our total employee count is 144, not counting some temporary service people and who have been very valuable part of the staff, and independent contractor carriers who have done an excellent job for us. And there are about carrier force roughly numbers around 250. I don't have an exact number, but it's around 250.
So 144 employees plus about 250 carriers.
Carriers, yeah.
Talk to me about being a family-owned paper. I know that this is a passion of yours.
Well, we never thought we'd be in this position because being it was in the family, you don't want to shut it down or lose it. We didn't want to sell, but the only way we could see for it to continue is to find another buyer. Columbus Dispatch, which is totally different size paper, much larger and much greater resources, came to the same conclusion because they were a standalone a year or two ago. I forget when they sold. And some other family operations have come to the same conclusion. We bought the press we did so that we could print other papers, which is one way to survive. But once we got it installed and got things positioned internally with our staff, we were unable to get any of the other papers that hadn't been merged with somebody yet. But we've always been concerned about the community and concerned about our staff. That's why we asked our staff not to let any, not to go to Twitter or Facebook until we were able to talk to everybody, and I think they kind of honored that. We had an unexpected leak otherwise through some miscommunication, but I think we're concerned about being able to talk to our staff face to face about it.
No way just to keep the website running?
Most all the revenue comes through the print product, and thanks to Google and Facebook driving down the rates for advertising on the internet, and also flooding the market with inventory and controlling all that, most of the inventory, they really choke out most other sites, and you can't make enough money off your website. Very few can make enough to support a newsroom. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post are companies that may have a path forward, but I don't know is there too many others that have that path forward right now.
What do you hope is the message from your family to your readers?
We're very grateful for them sticking with us over the years, and we've, depending upon the issues, they love us or hate us, and it goes back and forth all the time. We got a lot of hate mail when Obama was in. We get a lot of hate mail now that Trump's in. So we think we're fairly reasonable, but because we get hammered on from both sides. But we've tried very hard to serve the community and cover the school board issues, cover the local government issues, cover the township trustee issues, so that politicians, had to behave and pay attention and do things the right way and not be tempted to go off course. So.
Is this a sad day for Youngstown?
Well, it's. I have a biased opinion. I think newspapers fill a unique need, and I don't think it is as appreciated as it used to be, certainly, and as it should be now, in my view. The print product always has had greater impact on people's lives and their thoughts and their discussions, and caused them to expand their horizons. It's no different if you look at our editorial pages. We have columnists from the left and the right, if not every day. That if you look at a whole week, it's pretty balanced. I mean, we've got opinions from all over the place. And that's just to get people to think about things differently and be exposed to different points of view, and not listen to the same thing all the time, and have a broader view of the world.
Is there anything else you want to add that we did not ask you?
No, I'm just very grateful to all the support from the readers and the subscribers and the advertisers over the years. It's been wonderful to serve them, and we felt we provided a good service to the community, and it was thanks to them we were able to do that. We're very, I think a number of them are going to be most unhappy, and we're truly sorry for that. And we're especially upset that our employees and carrier force don't have a clear path forward with somebody else. So that is the most upsetting part.